Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of our lecture. In this video, I will be sharing to you a very important topic. Why? Because this is not just for your safety, but also for the safety of your whole family. So without further ado, let's get started. Oh yes, you're right. What I am going to share to you is about safe food storage. For our objectives, I hope that at the end of this video, you will be able to identify different categories of foods, classify food as non-perishable, semi-perishable, and perishable goods, apply the concept of proper way of storing food, and lastly, determine the number of days required for some foods to be stored. Let me begin with the purpose of safe food storage. According to US FDA in 2021, the purpose of proper and safe storage of food is to retain the quality such as flavor, texture, color, and nutrients. Improper way of storing food can lead to food contamination, thus foodborne illness may occur. That is according to Claudio et al. In 2014. These are some of the foods that we commonly store, which belong into the respective categories. We have here 4 categories of food to store. We will start with non-perishable, semi-perishable, perishables, and including the cooked and leftovers. First on our list is the storage of non-perishable goods. Examples are shown in the picture, such as canned goods, spices, grains, etc. The following are to be stored in a clean and dry place. And these are not limited to the following items shown, but flour, nuts, jars, bottles, noodles, and pastas are also included. And in case of open canned foods, put them into food containers. Next on our list is the storage of semi-perishable goods. These do not require refrigeration but can be stored in a short period of time compared to non-perishables. These items are to be stored in a storeroom that allows enough air circulation around the food. And just a simple reminder that potatoes are to be kept away from light to avoid sprouting. Next is in storing perishables. These items requires storage for it easily deteriorates when not properly stored. Examples of this are the following. First is dairy products. Remember to store milk in the refrigerator at temperature between 3 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. This will last in the refrigerator for 10 days. Make sure that milk are sealed so that it will not absorb smell from other foods as well. Next is meat and poultry. In our table, we can see fresh poultry like chicken and whole and in pieces, and they have different storage. For whole chicken, it can be stored in the refrigerator with a temperature of 4 degrees Celsius or below for 1 to 2 days, and 1 year in the freezer with negative 18 degrees Celsius or below. For chicken cut in pieces, it can stay for 1 to 2 days in the refrigerator and 9 months in the freezer. Fresh beef is not safe in the pantry and should be placed in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 days and 2 to 3 months in the freezer. Eggs can last in the refrigerator for 3 to 5 weeks. Be reminded that proper storage of eggs are not in the door of the refrigerator but to be stored in the carton in a shelf. Placing it in a fridge will lead to exposure to temperature changes when door is opened and then closed. Next examples are fruits. Pineapple can be stored in a pantry for 1 to 2 days if it's not fully ripe, 5 to 7 days in the refrigerator, and 8 to 12 months in the freezer. Of course, it should be peeled and stored in a container already. Bananas can also be placed in a pantry room until it is ready to eat, and 2 to 3 months when frozen. Avocados, I guess its season has already begun. And remember these principles to store them. It can be stored in a pantry until it ripened, 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator, and 8 months when it is frozen. Lastly, for apples, it can be stored in pantry for 3 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks in refrigerator, and 8 months when frozen. Now, let's proceed on how vegetables are stored. We have in our example the cabbage. It can be stored in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 weeks and 10 to 12 months when frozen. Carrots also have the same storage with cabbage. Cucumbers are to be stored in refrigerator for 4 to 6 days. Do not freeze. Dried beans, lentils, peas can last in the pantry for 1 to 2 years. Onions can last in the pantry for a month and 2 months in the refrigerator. When frozen, it can last up to 10 to 12 months. Potatoes can last in the pantry for 1 month and 10 to 12 months when frozen. Last in our examples are the tomatoes. When it is not yet ripe, it can be placed in the pantry for 7 days until it ripened, 1 to 2 days in the refrigerator when it is ripe, and 2 months in the freezer. In the case of leftovers and cooked foods, store them in the refrigerator between 3 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. Cover before storage and separate them from raw foods. Cool food first before refrigerating in the case of cooked foods. For our conclusion, I want to leave these friendly thoughts and reminder to all of you. Bacteria can spread as fast as we thought it would and can multiply to dangerous levels. That's according to Better Health in 2017. Proper way of storing food will help me, you, and all of us in preventing foodborne illness. Thus, we can protect our health. Thank you for watching, and if you find this video informative and interesting, please don't forget to give this a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell for more updates. Thank you, keep safe, and God bless you all.